Alrighty then, I have just come back in from changing my bike tires for a ride that I plan to do tomorrow or later on this long weekend. But right now I've got some tasks that I need to do. Up here in this note here, we've got goals for this weekend: attempt Mount Cootha ride Thornlands to Victoria Point Ferry, and record remaster of Eutrophy Awakening. And that last one is what we're going to be doing now. This is something a little bit different. I'm giving a go to sort of just recording a head-mounted GoPro, just so you can see what I'm doing, and hopefully it picks up the audio from the Adams monitors. Okay, we'll see. I do have a direct feed through OBS in case it doesn't quite work, so that's going. But yeah, so essentially I'm working on an album, and I've got this really bad habit of doing production work on headphones and never on speakers, and so yeah, I'm trying to break that habit. But yeah, one of my songs in this album, the first song in the album, I listened to on the Adams, not happy. So we're going to do a complete remaster. So what we're going to do is let's open up FL Studio, and we will open up the project, and we've got a little bit of work to do before we get started. So here it is. It's going to take a few minutes. I'll get back to you when it's loaded. Alright, here we go. Here's the project. Everything is all loaded up. Of course, some of the plugins here are on, what's it called? Auto disable or something like that. Which basically means it's going to take, there's going to be a couple of skips if we play through the project in real time, just as some of the plugins load their samples. So let's give it a play and we'll see what it sounds like. Oh, hold on. There's one more thing I need to do, and that is just set up a convolver. Firstly, let's go into audio settings and set it to USB ACO, and then we'll go add in a fruity convolver. And the reason we're adding this is I've got a measurement of the atoms in this room, which we're going to apply. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, but I've got a measurement of the atoms here, which we're going to apply just to flatten out the audio as much as we can, compensate for all of the things that are wrong with this room. Anyway, let's load up this measurement. Alright, and we'll set the wet there. Yeah, there's all sorts of things wrong with this mix coming out of the Adams. In headphones it sounds okay, but you know, this is what happens when you do a headphone mix. I just get rid of this. But yeah. go in here and just increase the buffer length because it is skipping around a little bit, presumably while OBS is recording. Yeah, it doesn't sound bad, but I'm just not particularly happy with it. Anyway, so let's go ahead and we'll save as, and we'll do a, so we've cleaned, remaster. All right, and it'll save, and it takes a hot minute to do that. And then the next thing we're going to do is not the most exciting work, but it does need to be done. And we're basically going to go through the mixer, and we're going to remove pretty much everything that isn't to do with sound design. So we'll keep things like space reverbs and stuff like that. But when it comes to room reverbs, or, you know, just stuff that is to do with mixing, right, we're going to get rid of that. So yeah, let's get started on that. All right, and there we are. Now I had to, the recording stopped, so I'm glad I had the OBS. It probably would have switched to the screen just for a short little bit there. But yeah, this GoPro, it likes to overheat, especially when recording video in still air like this. So I've gotten rid of pretty much all of the non-sound design plugins, which is pretty much everything. I've ended up keeping the sends to the reverbs over here. Now some things, there's some automation here that's just not going to work anymore. Presumably some of the reverbs and whatnot, but I've tried to keep as much in as I can, but I've probably deleted some of it. Let's go ahead and we'll do a save, just so that we don't lose everything. And then we're going to do a quick little test, just to see if there's any like automation still active when it comes to the levels of these mixer tracks. And we're going to do that by just grabbing everything and turning it all down. All right. Yeah, see, there you go. There's a couple here that need their initial value deleted. Let's delete the initial value for that one. Anything else? You, sir. Goodbye. And then these ones as well. They'll probably be tied to some automation somewhere, but we'll find out exactly where it's coming from eventually. And let's pull all of those down. And then from here, it's basically just a case of bringing the levels up and making it sound nice. Let's go ahead and save. At some point, some of the other levels, those ones that we deleted the initial value for, they're gonna just rise up at some point during this project as they hit the automation, but we'll deal with that as it comes. So let's get started. I don't expect to finish this today. This will probably be a multi-day project, I imagine. Yeah. See, this one's already come up, and I think down here, insert 92 volume. Yeah, here we go. Let's get rid of that. We will set your volume manually, my friend. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and bring some things in. So, immediately. All right, you overheated again, but that's okay. So we've done most of this beginning bit here. We got a little bit of this. So, apart from that, we're kind of only just getting started on the next bit, and I've got a couple of instruments here that I need to fill in. I just did a little check on headphones, and it sounds okay there. There's a couple of things that can kind of be sorted out. Headphones are really good for precision and for low end, I find, whereas obviously I'm thinking probably want to use the speakers as your bass for a lot of the time. Those speakers are a lot more fatiguing than headphones are. Anyway, that's about as much as I have in me right now. It's been about, I don't know, maybe a bit over an hour working on this. But yeah, I'll probably do a little bit more work on it tomorrow. Maybe I might do a little bit more work on it tonight, I'm not sure. But yeah, until the next session.